What did I do? What is my reference? What are people saying on me that I cannot see? And you know, such reaction from stupid girl, Ashewo, Akuna Kuna, you've been sleeping around. You okay, guys, I'll start my story. There was this aunties way back in the 90s. I mean, then I was in Nigeria. I was still living in Nigeria. Way back in the 90s, I think early 90s, about that, early 90s. She used to date this man. I think they dated for about 4 years. So the fourth year, they decided to get married. His family knows her, and her family knows him as well because they've been dating for a while. Everything seems to be going on. But she got pregnant just before they got married on the fourth year. 5 months before the wedding, she got pregnant. You know, some people do go get pregnant. She got pregnant actually. But this guy suddenly started behaving funny. He started behaving funny. He started avoiding her. He was not picking up calls. And those are days where mobile was not that popular. I mean, mobile phone was not there were mobile phone back in Nigeria, but it was limited for the elites, if you know what I mean. Those big Motorola big phones. So auntie used to call her, this lady, I'll call her auntie. Auntie used to call him at the office. So most times like busy. This is a man that calls her every time to see how she's doing, because she too was working at the time. I will not mention where he works or where she works because I'm trying to hide the identity here. And I'm only hiding, like I always say in my chat video, I'm only hiding the identity because my point is not to reveal any identity or to shame anybody, just for us to learn and for me to emphasize my point. So they were dating, she got pregnant, and then he started behaving funnily. She said this auntie now went to her mother-in-law, her mother-in-law. She said every time she gets to the house, her mother-in-law would tell the gate man to say she's not around, and she could see her car. She knows that car. She's been in that car so many times. They were very, very close. You understand? Now there was even a day she just saw her from the balcony entering into the house. She got there, and her mother-in-law said to the gate man that she's not. She believed her mother-in-law told the gate man, because the gate man would say, "Oh, hold on, auntie, madam, they inside." You know how it is in Nigeria. That is broken English. That is, madam is inside. So she went. The gate man went inside the house, came back and said, "Madam, no day." As in, for my non-African or non-Nigerian viewers, that is, madam is not in the house. The madam she just saw with her own eyes entering into the house from the balcony. So it's happened not once, not twice, and then she suspected something is not right. Something is going on here. She did not know what is going on, and nobody's telling her anything. Do you know the kind of torture that is? Have you been in love with somebody before? You know, like when you love someone, you want to hear from that person. You're supposed to be getting married. This person is not communicating. His family suddenly changed towards you. What could it be? So she said her mother-in-law has a shop on, no, I won't mention the road. So she went to that shop, and luckily she met face to face with her mother-in-law. Guess what the mother-in-law said to her? She said even before then, I want you to sorry guys, I have to leave the room because the cleaner wants to clean the room, and the hoovering, the sound of the hoovering is disturbing, so I'll find a quiet place for us to do that. You know, like this lady said, even before then, before what actually happened, she realized things change even in our church. She used to attend this big church in Nigeria on Sundays, every Sundays, and then she said, you know, like in church, in those Nigerian churches back then, but the layout of the church, it was a long bench, long benches arranged. They arranged some long benches in the church, like in rows. They arranged them. She said once she gets into the church and she sat on one of the benches, everybody else stood up. And not just that they just stood up, they would stand up and go elsewhere and leave the bench for her. So she'll be the only one sitting on that bench. It's happened not once, not twice, and it just suddenly started happening in the same month. She was wondering, is she smelling? Is she carrying excrete on her body? Like, excrete is like shit, poo. Are you carrying poo on my body? Am I carrying poo on the body? Am I smelling of wee? She said there's some Sundays where she go back to church and then she will use, before she leaves the house, she'll use lots and lots of perfume just to make sure it's not smell. She baths, she knows she's not smelling. So what is it? Why are these people acting strangely around her? She did not understand why. So she went to, that was before she went to her mother-in-law. And again, there's one woman down our street. She says sometimes when she goes to the market and she maybe forget to buy something, this woman sells like food stuff, tomatoes, pepper, you know how it is, like things you could use to cook like soup. And there are times that she runs out of stuff. If she runs out of stuff in the house, she quickly just stroll down to that lady. And sometimes the lady even gives her on credit. Like she buys stuff from her, and if she can't make it to the market, you know how it is in Nigeria. And it was fine. They have a good relationship like that, like customer-seller relationship. And then she said she realized that one day she forgot to buy, I think, tomatoes. And then she went to this lady. This lady, first of all, did not answer her. She was trying to call her. You know, like you park your car close to like the lady's shop. My Nigerians will understand what I'm saying, or anybody else really. It's pretty straightforward. And she was like, my friend, pass me some tomato, pass me some. She said this lady, as soon as she sees her car, normally, as soon as she sees a car approaching her, she quickly stand up. That's our usual attitude. She quickly stand up and come to her like, madam, what do you want today? What do you want? Auntie, what can I give you? What do you want to buy? There's pepper, there's tomato, there's onions. She always wants her to buy stuff from her. But she noticed that lately, she would just sit down, she would not answer. Like she called her like up to 3-4 times before this woman stood up and came to her. And she told her what she wanted. The woman did not even greet her, you understand? And this lady now gave her some tomatoes, gave her what she wanted to buy. And she wanted to collect her change. She made sure her hand does not touch this woman. It was like, the way she gave it to her, some of the notes dropped on the floor. And she was like, something is really, really wrong here. What did I do? What is my offense? What are people saying on me that I cannot see? And do you know, such reaction from people, especially when it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, could make you go into some kind of depression, could make you begin to hate yourself, could make you begin to question God. You understand? Especially when you don't know what it is that is putting people off. You do not know what it is. So, to cut my story short, she now went to her mother-in-law to continue my story from the mother-in-law. I just said I should mention that because that was before she went to her mother-in-law. According to her story, that's before she went to her mother-in-law. So her mother-in-law, immediately she saw her at the shop, she was like, don't bring your HIV here. Stupid girl. Ashewo, akuna, you've been sleeping around. You caught HIV. Nya, 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 nya. She said the woman did not give her a chance. That she stood there, pamphlet, shocked, like, is this coming from this woman's mouth? What is all this thing that you're saying? Do you understand? Like, what is all this thing you're saying? I don't understand what you're saying. Where are you getting this information from? Me, HIV patient. Me, Ashewu. She had to, like, tap the mama. She wanted to tap the mama. The mama, like, removed her hand, pushed her hand away with so much force. Like she was some kind of irritant. She almost fell. Like, mama, it's me, your daughter-in-law, to be. The mama pushed her. The woman pushed her like she's some kind of irritant. She almost fell. The woman said, call security, that if she did not leave, the security would throw her out. That what was her son going to do? Her son cannot marry a prostitute. That see where her prostitution has landed. She's now an HIV patient. She said she cried back home. She cried back home. She went back to her people that this is what is going on. Now, people don't live in Lagos. Apparently, the rumor has spread round that she had HIV. Where did this rumor spread from? Okay, I will tell you. 2 weeks, and I repeat, 2 weeks before their wedding, their supposed wedding, before the wedding she was supposed to have with this guy, and this guy was not communicating with her. The guy's sister, anyway, the lady lives in Canada, the sister lives in Canada, so she relocated back. Not relocated, I think she's supposed to. I don't know what she came to do in Nigeria. She was the one that visited this auntie that is supposed to be getting married. She went to this auntie that is supposed to be getting married and said to her that, I'm really sorry about what happened. I am not in Nigeria. I don't know what's been happening. Apparently, they've been communicating before. They do talk on the phone. She knows this auntie as my brother's fiancée, you know, somebody she's about to marry. So she went to her house. And I mean, the auntie from Canada, the lady from Canada, the man's sister went to this auntie's house to say that, to apologize, and then told her that, I am sorry that I'll have to tell you, because I am a lady like you. I'm not in the country, and I've not been in the country for that long. I'm not going to do what the other family members are doing. I'm going to tell you the truth. My brother is getting married in 2 weeks' time. That is the man she's supposed to marry. The man that auntie was supposed to marry is getting married 2 weeks' time. And this woman here is heavily pregnant. Apparently, the story is, this man is getting married to a rich man's daughter. Somebody, a high-profile politician, somebody well-known in Nigeria. This man got married to the daughter. So what this guy did was dump her for the rich man's daughter. That was what he did. In one word, that was what he did. But there was no reason to dump her. There was no excuse to dump her. So he had to fabricate the HIV story. And the HIV story seems to be a good excuse for any man to give or to tell anybody who cares to listen. The HIV story seems to be the best excuse. Because apparently, when this woman was confused, when this auntie did not know what was going on, especially with their relationship, she was talking to people that know both of them together. So they were going to him. Like, okay, how can you live her like this in this situation? This lady, this auntie is pregnant for you. This is wickedness. So to take away the shame and the blame from him, what did he do? He fabricated a story that almost ruined her life. This auntie would go in the house. All of her friends ran away from her. And we're talking about the 90s. That era, HIV was a no-no. The stigma, when they said somebody has HIV in the 1990s, is like death sentence. You become an irritant. People run away from you. People were not that enlightened or educated when it comes to that, will I say ailment, disease, or whatever, that HIV. It's like once you're diagnosed as an HIV patient, the whole world go against you, back in the 90s. And this auntie does not have HIV. She was just a victim of circumstance. She does not have HIV. I mean, I don't know why some men cannot just have a clean breakup. Oh, I fall out of love. I don't want to go ahead with this anymore. It hurts. The woman will cry. The lady will cry. But life will continue. Time heals wound. She will continue with her life. She will not die. But his own style, the method he chose, was a ruining method, or ruining life method. She said when she had her child, she considered committing suicide, because at her working place, she was sacked just because of this rumor that she had HIV. They sacked her at work. And you know Nigeria is not like the UK or the US, where without evidence, such rumor would hold no waters. There's no way they could listen to you. You cannot go to my workplace or where I used to. I don't see you going into a company to say, oh, somebody had HIV. The worst the company would do is get their doctor to test that person, especially if you're like, no, I do not have HIV. So you have a chance of remaining in that company. But Nigeria, they didn't give her a chance. She was sacked without pay on the spot as soon as the rumor begins to spread. So here is an auntie with a baby in her hand, with no husband, with no friends. Nobody wants to talk to her. That is the power of that slander, fabrication. That guy started that rumor. It spread so quickly that she was a prostitute. She did not know she was a prostitute before he started a relationship with her. Along the way, when she got pregnant, like when you get pregnant, they do text and all that. She and the truth, the element of truth in the story was that she's pregnant. And usually when you're pregnant, in the hospital, they do all kind of tests. That one of the tests reveal that she's HIV positive. I think as soon as he heard that they do those kind of tests, it was a good way out for him. It was a good excuse to use. So, him telling such stories, and that story came out, if not because of our mother-in-law, although our mother-in-law's attitude towards her was not so nice, but she was able to know why people were running away from her. And then some other people she was talking to that were going to talk to him came back with that story. They said this man that she's supposed to marry said she was a prostitute. She's an HIV patient. They find out when she was pregnant. And that story spread. My people, it's not an easy thing. This auntie almost committed suicide. She was isolated, she was lonely, she was alone. How wicked. And do you know, after all that, do you think you continue your life happily? You can continue at first, but things will go wrong. How is this man that jilted this auntie, how is his life today? If you see him, you cry for him. You will cry for him. Like there's some decision you make. Back in the days, some people might have married maybe a rich man's daughter or son and get away with it. Sometimes they empower them, they start things for them, they show them, they help them, you understand? They help them up the ladder. They make it so easy for them because they're married to their daughter. Anyway, I tell you, this auntie had to leave the country, and her family ran around, gather money because they were just okay, you understand? Auntie was supposed to be the one. Sometimes because auntie got a job in Lagos, she was the one helping her family back home. I will not say what state, anyway, back home in Nigeria, back then in Nigeria. She was the one helping her family send them money, but when this thing started, the best option for her was to leave the country. So they gathered money, everybody contributed. She had a visa. Luckily she got a visa into America. To cut the story short, she flew out of the country with her son. She had a son, the son she had for that guy. She flew out of the country and she started her life again. She said what even made that thing worse was that the power of this rumor, power of fabricating story, false rumor, is that she was at a party, like a Nigerian party in New York, and one girl that knew her down her street in Nigeria recognized her and started the rumor again. Like that auntie over there, within the Nigerian community abroad, it's always small. Somebody will know somebody and somebody will know somebody. They want to start it again. She had to oh God, not again, She has to relocate. She relocated to a different state, like Atlanta. She started a life all over again. But luckily for her, she met this guy way back then. She said this guy showed her the meaning of love. When they say love, the meaning of love. She said her plan was because she does not have the American passport or their stay or their residence, it's maybe work for a while, because she had to stay with a friend when she first relocated to America. Maybe work for a while and then go back home, but not in Lagos. She said she was ready to go back to her state, her home state, and then start maybe some trade or business there. They don't know her that much there. She said her story changed That's why I said in the beginning of my video that if God is with you, there's a turning point. She met this man, and apparently, shout out to my Igbos, an Igbo man. This man married her, irregardless of, but this man has been lived in the States most of his life. A doctor, an Igbo doctor man. Married her, did her papers for her. She lives there legally. She has 4 kids today. As of today, she's a mother of 4. She said if she's to call me back into this world again and again, she'll marry this same Igbo man. That's to tell you how caring, how loving this man is. She said through social media not too long ago, this man that she was supposed to marry was sending people to her. An auntie contacted her. You know how it is like in Nigeria with all this spiritual thing and that they should go and beg her. And she said she did not do anything to the man. No. She did not do anything to the man. But things are not good for the rich man's daughter divorced him after 1 child, divorced him, and she married somebody else too. So things are not working for him. He has no job. He's in the Libo. He's like one of these area boys actually. Things are really, really bad for him. So now what he resulted to doing is using the son. You remember the son? Like, I want to see my son. I'm sorry for what I did. He's begging her. But were you not thinking of the future? People that knew them way back then, that have seen this man in Nigeria, told this auntie that if you see him, you will spit. That did I ever dated this man? Was this man ever going to be my how could I date such man? That is how horrible things are for him. This is the law of karma. Her situation changed around. She said she told her man, her husband right now, everything, her experience in Nigeria, what brought her to America. That she was like, in case somebody knows her again or knew her way back then and they want to start telling him stories, she made him follow her to the hospital, see the test results, that she's not an HIV patient. It is not HIV positive. It's negative. That from her first, second, third, fourth, all negative. She made him see reasons in case somebody else come again with their stories to ruin her life. That she's very, very happy. That she did not believe she can ever be that happy. That things could turn around for her. Now she's a mother of 4 with 2 houses in Nigeria, in her hometown. And this is not just, I like to share true life stories. And this is somebody I know. Or at the time she was going through these challenges, I did not know. I just know. I remember I just heard she left the country. She was having problems. I knew she was going to marry. I knew, but what actually happened, I did not know, because I see her every now and then, So the man cannot stand in the same place with her today. You know, guys, when you evaluate the story and when you evaluate what happened to this woman, it's like, it's so believable because it's coming from somebody she was dating, somebody she's about to marry, somebody she's been intimate with. So it's so believable. People will believe it. And it's just that the part I do not like is the people that know her did not even give her a chance. They just believe it and they ran with it and help him spread it. And another thing about the story, I think I mentioned that earlier, is that he was able to convince people easily because she was pregnant and she's bound to do some tests. It comes with, if you're a mother and you're watching me, you know what I mean. When you're pregnant, you do all kinds of tests medically. So she was able to put that in there. And it's sad, but look at where his evil, his wickedness pushed her to. Are you getting me? Look at where he pushed her to. It took years. It cost her pain. She said mental torture, especially when she did not know. That took her months. Why people were acting funnily around her. and why the man that's supposed to be the love of our life was acting funny, disappeared completely without no communication, nothing, refused to see her face to face. Anyway, my people, it's been nice and lovely talking to you this afternoon. It's always nice talking to you. You know what to do. And as I say in my video, and I always say in my video, share my video, share this video, subscribe, like, share, make sure you share it, subscribe and like it. You, that girl, that woman, this lady that keep coming back to watch my video, you come back and watch. You will among the few that comes back and watch my video, but you do not subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. I would love you to subscribe. Subscribing, as I always say, help me. Subscribing tells me that you like to hear more from me, you like to see more of me. So please, guys, subscribe and share my video. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. God bless you all. Ta-ra!